Minecraft villages can be a little bit boring looking, but Kyle from KyleKraft and I are going to transform this village into two different styles. Don't you go anywhere if you want to see what we're going to do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in this village conversion transformation series that I am doing with KyleKraft. Last week we did the blacksmith. I'm stood on the old blacksmith's roof. The new blacksmith is over the back. Today we will be transforming one of the houses. And which one are we going to do? Ooh, that one. The one right next to the church, just above my head. That is the one we're going to do. Let's crack on. So there is the house we are going to do a number on. Right there, look, it has got a rubbish stone step. It's very flat. It could, in fact, could be more flat on the sides. But it does function as the library. I tend to call this the library building. So it's got like a crafting table and some bookshelves and stuff. So that's what we're going to do. That fella right there. Kyle has done it in modern. I am going to do it in a more rustic style. So let's get over to where we're going to build this fella. Right, so I've already marked out the right footprint for this house. Am I going to stay absolutely within that footprint? No, I'm not going to stay absolutely within that footprint. And let me tell you why, dear viewer, because I didn't stay absolutely within the footprint for that fella either. But it worked out all right. We're going to create that village with similar footprints, almost the same footprints as that village over there, over here. Now that house over there has got a 9x6 footprint. I have drawn out a 9x7 rectangle, and this is where we're going to build it. This is the kind of palette that I think I'm probably going to be using on this build. So we've got various bits of stones, a few different bits of wood, some dark oak, some oak logs, doors, trapdoors, buttons, stuff you get inside a house, and various other bits. I think that's going to do us, although without a question, I'm going to have forgotten something. But this will give us a build that is similar in style to the Blacksmiths. And this is what I mean by being similar in style to the Blacksmiths. This is kind of what I want to do. We need to make sure that the entire village flows. It's no good doing that like that and then having a building over there that looks completely out of kilter with this Blackstone's build. If you've not seen this Blacksmiths, then please do go and take a look. The video will be in the description below, which will also link you through to Kyle's version of the Blacksmith as well. So let's get cracking. So in the same way that we've done it over there on the Blacksmiths, I want to edge off, but I'm not going to edge off on the outside because people are just going to complain that I've gone outside the footprint. So I'm going to edge off there. I'm not going to put anything in the corner. I'm just going to come along on each side and we're going to build it up. Whoops, missed a bit. Build it up as we go around. Then in each corner, we're going to shove an oak log because we know we love our oak logs when we do that. Let's just come around there and there. And let's fill up the middle with cobble in exactly the same way as we did before because that gives us the foundation. Like that. Come on, get in there, fella. You know you want to. And then get in there. And in there. Obviously, I could use stone brick. That's fine. But I've got that. And I'm going to put one in the middle as well. And there. We don't need one there. I think that is sufficiently close for it to be able to support itself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull along exactly the same. So far, all we're doing really is building the same as we did on the Blacksmith. It's literally exactly in keeping with that Blacksmith. But we are going to change some stuff up in just a minute. Let me just get this platform on there now. Oh, don't want to go under there like that. There, and there. Okay, so that's how we're going to start. Next step is to get the height for the house, so we've got a framework to work on, and we're going to make this go up 7. That happens to be the same number that goes up. Is it coincidental? No, it's not coincidental. Of course it's not. We're building a village that's in keeping with each other. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the reason I want this to be as high as the Blacksmith is because if you look over there, that is pretty much taller, frankly, than the Blacksmith if the Blacksmith didn't have a roof on. So by my reckon, it's a similar height. So I need this to be a similar height to the Blacksmith as well. So we're going to come up and build up all the way across, build the frame like that, come across this way and build the frame up like that, come back this way and build the frame up. So we've got what looks like a boxy box. Again, you'll notice a lot of these builds are going to start off as being boxy boxes. I make no apologies for it, it's just the way that it is. And we're going to put in a slightly different set of steps, because what I want is a set of steps that does that. Why do you want a set of steps that does that, Avo? I hear you asking. Well, because I'm going to be using stripped oak for the floor, and why? I just like it. I just think stripped oak works really, really well for flooring, and as a result, I just fancy having a go with it. However, what I don't want to do is have stripped oak there. I don't think that would work at all. So we need to build the wall up first and then put the floor in. Right, so the first thing I've done is I've put just a ring of cobble all the way around, except for where this set of stairs is. And you'll notice from the cobble, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 high, which is a real sweet spot when it comes to building internals of a house. So let's just shove that there like that. This brings obviously the internals to 3, but that's okay. And we've got, moving up his stairs, we've got a nice looking floor. I'm then going to, just for the sake of structure, I'm going to put in the wall so as I can visualize what it is going to look like, because it needs to look right. I'm going to bring in the doors now because I want to be able to see. So there's the doors. We're going to put them obviously on the inside, always on the inside like that, a set of double doors, because I think this house justifies a double door format. We then can see that we want to put in a window there, definitely. Except I don't want to put it there. Actually, I'm going to put it there like that. And we're going to have also a window there like that. And 1, 2, 3 wide window there. And I think I'm going to leave that wall blank and do something with it in a bit. And then we're literally just filling over the top. Now this is all cobble. It is not going to stay cobble. We're going to do some patented fiddling around so as we've got a nice textured wall appearance. It's really important that we just don't have big blocks of kind of single blocks like that. It just doesn't work. So I have put glass in those holes. They're tiny little windows. Don't panic about the windows being tiny. It's all going to work out. I promise you. It's a tiny house really when you think about it. So now what I want to do is I want to get myself some cobblestone blocks, and we're going to bring ourselves out exactly the same way as we would for any other roof and build a 12-12 gable on this house. Now these houses obviously need to match as much as they possibly can, and we've got a nice 12-12 gable on that one, which means we're going to do exactly the same on here, and pop that up like that, backwards and forwards until we've got, oh, I've fallen off the roof, backwards and forwards until we've got an apex at the top. Pop that like that. Where's my cobblestone? Where's, I know I had it a minute ago. Right, so there's the cobble. Pop the cobble there. Little overhang. Boom, you are right on, right that. So let's get some steps. And what we're going to do now with the steps is we're going to fill along all the way, whoop, not like that, all the way to the edge. I'm just going to finish off this roof. This is going to have cobblestone stairs there, obviously, and it's going to be just a straight gable over and above. So we're going to detail up the walls, and we're going to do this in a fairly standard way. You'll be very familiar with it if you've watched any of my tutorials. I'm just going to shove in a number of different textured blocks that gives you the ability to just see the wall for something it could be. And I'm just going to change that to a little bit of stone there. I'll have some stone there, about up in the corner I'll have a bit of stone there as well. I'll come back and do the other one in a minute. That can be stone, that can be stone, that there, no, not that one, and the one at the bottom. So now we've got the front, and the front is slightly different because what I also want to do at the front is I want to get rid of that and that and that and build a little kind of half step there. We'll do something else with that in a second. I'm just going to shove some andesite in in there. So that's looking all right. Nice texture. We're going to put a sight in there and a sight in there. That can be again, that can be again, and that. I think actually let's put one up there as well. There. So you can see the structures of the walls are starting to come together beautifully. No, let's not do that. I think we're probably all right, you know. That looks good. And then we're also going to get ourselves a little bit of oak fence, and we're just going to shove oak fence up the side of that, because what we're going to end up doing is building up some detail on the sides of the building that probably looks a little bit like that. I've not committed to that yet, but I think that's probably what we're going to do. I want to put a little bit of detail on the windows, but I don't want to do my standard shutters. Now the reason I don't want to do my standard shutters, it's not really big enough for me to do those, so I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. And this is how I want it to look. You can see, so we've got a kind of a support structure, and then over the top, so the shutter comes down rather than it being a shutter that closes in, and that I think is fine. And on this wall I am going to put this up like this, at least for now. I might change it, I reserve the right, but that I think is just, it's a slightly different detail to what we do normally do, and I like it. I am going to do however is to replace that because I muffed it, and I think we're getting there. Now let's go inside, because it's dark, dingy and very, very little. And what I'm going to do now, where's my, in a similar vein, we're going to put some oak planks in, and we're going to do it like that. And you see we've got basically an open window at the end there like that. So it's just one block big, but that's okay. And in that block we are unsurprisingly going to shove that in there like that, shove that in there like that. I then want to get a torch. I've not even got any torches, for goodness sake. Right, so let's put a torch there and there. Now again, I may change this, but at least that gives me some light that I can work with inside now. And I'm going to go back outside because I'm not ready to do the inside yet. And I just want to take a look at this and see how it looks. Yeah, so as I expected, it is very, very flat. So we need to break up that flatness with a little bit more texture. It's continuous with that roof using the dark oak, and also is in keeping with what we did over there. So rather than put a flower, I've put a torch on these little kind of pedestal-y things that we've put underneath the windows. They are sort of windowsills, but they're not, because they're a block down. And the reason I've done a block down is so as we can put a torch there. Villagers, as we all know, are very, very scared of zombies. They are not best mates with the Walking Dead. So I've put some additional lighting on each side here that should be enough just to repel the zombies a little bit. And then on this side, where we didn't put the window, I've decorated it so as we've got exactly the same format on the same level that we've got there, but we've put an overhang of similar type of style on there as well. And I think that works rather well. What we are also going to do is put a torch there and there, and that kind of lights up the way for any weary traveller that might go inside. What we are going to do here, again, similarly to the way we did there, we're going to bring up only 2 high rather than 3 high like we did on that side. We're going to bring out these feet, and I think this might be something that we do fairly consistently in these large builds. And we're going to shove, how does that look? Do we want that on there? Yeah, we do. Let's put that like that. What I might do actually is I might just bring that there like that, just so as the terraforming doesn't mess us up. That there, that there, that there, and that there. So that gives us some nice looking feet. Similarly, we're going to bring in, I know I've got one, there it is. We're going to bring in cobblestone wall on top of each of them. And what this does, the same as last time, it brings the stone into the wood, and then with the use of a button, we bring the wood into the stone. And actually, that kind of integration is quite important. Otherwise, what you've got, you get a stony bit and you get a wooden bit, and it doesn't quite work. So that starts to come together rather nicely. What I'm also going to do on the outside of these bits here, we're going to put in another stone, which is not something we did on the Blacksmiths. And again, that is just to increase the detailing of those struts, because that's a lot of up and down wood, and where with this one you've got a lot of distraction with fence posts going up the insides and things like that. This one you have not, so you need a little bit of extra detail just to stop the eye from looking down that very, very straight line. We are inside the house, and you can see we've not got a lot of room. 3 by 5. That is a tiny space for us to build this, and bear in mind this is one of the larger houses. What's it going to be like when we get inside those small ones? But anyway, I'm going to bring out what's effectively a very teeny tiny mezzanine level. So I'm leaving 2 open and 3 closed, except for that one there, and that is going to act as our entrance. So you've got to climb up a ladder to get to the upstairs. But what you've got when you get to the upstairs is a much better space. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 7. All of a sudden you've got a bit of room. I've deliberately not put the upside down stairs on the underside of these roofs. What that gives us is a little bit more headroom and walk around room, and that means that we're not going to bash our heads, basically, and the poor villager that lives here isn't going to bash his head. We've now got a bit of space to play around with. Now what I'm first off going to do is I'm going to shove a bed in there, so their bed isn't right next to the hole, otherwise they could get out of bed and fall straight down the hole. That wouldn't work, would it? And then we're going to put a chest on either side of the bed for his storage, and then we're going to put a crafting table next to the bed right there. So we've got actually some all right room. If we want to, and I'm going to, just for the record, we can put a chest there, we can put a chest there. That will be accessible from the bottom and also the top, so that's a really nice place to put it. And then I'm also going to put a chest there. So this guy who lives here is going to have plenty of room. What I also want to do is I want to put just a little bit more light in, and that is going to come there and there like that. So now we've got loads of fresh light that isn't going to cause any zombies to come and eat his face. I'm not going to put any blockage off here, I don't think, because actually in reality I don't think it's necessary. But should we experiment anyway? He says I'm not going to do this, and then I'm going to do it. So let's have a look and see how it looks. So we've got a fence going all the way across. I can still access those if I want to. You know what? No, I lied. I am actually going to have that, but I'm going to take those out, and I'm going to put a torch there and there, because I reckon, no I'm not, I'm going to put a torch there and there, because I reckon that's actually much nicer. I much prefer that. So that's the kind of upstairs rough bit done. We need to do the downstairs bit now. Remember, this is a library, so what I want to do is I want to be able to use books. So I'm going to get some books, and I'm going to put books up there and there, so you've still got a sight of the window and underneath, and I'm not going to put anything across the top. I don't think it quite works. And then we're going to get our seating plan. So what I need to do is I need to bring in that, and let's stick with that for now. And we're going to bring in, so there's a seat there, there's a seat there. Yeah, that's great. We're then going to get a fence post there and a little pressure plate that allows us to have a table. And I think that works quite well. I can then, will that work? I don't think that will work there, will it? Because the ladder, we don't actually need the ladder there. Then I can put that on one side, that on the other side, and we've got a nice little table for, well, a nice little sofa with edging that looks quite nice. I quite like that. So that is the basics of the inside. I'm going to do a little bit more with it in just a minute. For the meantime, however, we need to finish the outside. And we are done. There's one side, there's the front, just so you can see it properly. There is the other side. I've put some additional detail with some extra little plants and some trees. Well, not really trees, they're sort of bushes. And then on this side, I did something fairly similar as well. And I think it is pretty in keeping with the other building without being too similar. I'm pretty pleased with it. Inside, we've done very little else, frankly, than we did before that you last saw. We just put a little torch in there with an item frame and an anvil in the item frame. That makes for a great holder. So I think that is enough. Close the doors, and we are good to go. Let's go and have a look and see what Kyle's done with the modern version. And here we have a really awesome looking modern house. Look at that. That's brilliant. I love the way that curves all the way around. Now, we're using again here, look, we've got the white concrete that is just so synonymous with a modern build. I am not a modern build specialist by any stretch of the imagination. I've done a few, but I'm really not in that niche at all. And I couldn't have conceived of doing this. Look at that, that's beautiful. And up on the roof here, that's really interesting. Now look, we've got, again, the consistency with the previous build where we've got kind of an interesting interlocking shape where we've got kind of an indent of the angle there. And we have got iron trap doors going across there. Is that an open roof? Well, that's quite interesting. But also we've got that consistent white glass that gives light inside when it's daytime, but also gives a really nice looking feel to the entire building. I love that. We've got Kyle's favourite. He's got his stripped wood there, his stripped oak. That is fantastic. And now this, and actually, what a good idea. We have got the use of trap doors that are actually supporting the windows. He's placed, what he's done there, he's placed the trap door on the floor block, opened it up, and we have got a window support there that also acts as a real kind of depth adjustment to the wall. So we've got our slab there, our stone slabs going up one side, stone slabs going up the other. We've got our stripped wood going up the middle, and then we've got differential, symmetrical wall there with really open plan. And open plan is really big deal in modern building. It's so important to make sure that you've got lots of light coming in, lots of windows. In fact, very often with a modern build, it's mostly glass, and it works so well. Look at that. So going up into so we've got concrete powder mixing into the solid concrete. I like the difference of texture that gives you. So this is kind of an external, it's almost like a coloured gravel with the texture that it gives, and it's absolutely beautiful. That's superb. We've got height there. There's our kind of light through which the white glass is giving us a continual white glass all the way down to an iron door. I'm going to have to put that on there, then, aren't I? All the way down to an iron door. Let's let ourselves in, and inside we've got that iron trap door that Kyle used last time for a shelf that works so well. We've also got the wooden shelf there. Bit of a house plant going on. I like that. That's awesome. Now this is very open and sparse. He's used the crisscross pattern of the stripped wood. He really does like that stripped wood. I do too. But he's used it in 3 directions this time. So we've got the grain of the wood. We can count the rings of the wood. Then we've got the wood going in 2 different directions. He's encased some underfloor light in there with some more white glass, and it just adds to the flow of the entire building. What's that? And I was wondering where these guys were going to sleep. And upstairs, what we saw from the roof, we've got our open plan bedroom. That's nice, isn't it? Open plan bedroom. Be careful of any phantoms, just in case you've not quite gone to bed yet and they attack you through the top. But this should be plenty light enough for there not to be any spawning on top of this, so you shouldn't have any mobs jumping down on you. So really the chances of a phantom when you're actually about to go to bed coming down for you is pretty slim, so I think you're all right. And that, I like it. We've got kind of a mini mezzanine suspended there with a single fence post, so as not to make it look as if it's defying gravity, because I can't be doing with things that defy gravity. It just does not work for me. And he's brought across the table with the pressure pad from the original building there absolutely beautifully, shoved it against that post, so this has got somewhere for someone to put down their cup of tea, and that's great. And then we've got back door as well. Look at that, brilliant back door, double entrance going in around another white concrete post. Very nice. And we've got some kind of fencing or hedging there that is also really useful within a build coming around the outside. Look at it, double entrance to that first front door. You, sir Kyle, have done a really nice job, and I'm absolutely certain you've integrated this into the village as well. Now, interestingly, Kyle's village, whilst being in the same spawn, the same world, So we share the seed, we've gone to the same dimensions, the same coordinates, but we've got a slightly different village. The village has spawned in a different way, which actually gives me some ideas for other videos. But you can see there, he's got 2 of this type of house where I only had 1. So he's put both the houses, he's put it there and he's put it there, which is brilliant. And that is next to his really gorgeous blacksmiths there. So Kyle's village is starting to grow. Look at that. How that villager got up on top there, I will never know. But he seems quite happy, so I'm going to leave him. What a great piece of work that is. I really like the way Kyle did that. That was a really good looking modern house with the different height there for the bed and sleeping area, and the way he integrated a back and a front. And I especially like the way the front porch comes in from 2 directions and then you go in the front door. What a work of art. Really, really impressive. I have got my work cut out for me to be able to keep up with his level of build skill. I think it came out all right though. That little rustic house in the back there, beautifully matching up with the smith, and we are going to be including more and more rustic buildings in this brand new village. If you have enjoyed the video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. And so will Kyle, so make sure you like his video too. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button on both mine and Kyle's channels. It'd be great to see you in our sub clubs, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.